What's good, YouTube? Yep, it is your girl Trisha checking back in with another message. And the message today is understanding your power as a leader. You have to be able to understand your power as a leader in this season. It's important. Why is it important? Because right now you are becoming responsible. You are becoming responsible, and it has to be effective because you are granted this gift. This gift of leadership, which means you're about to have to go out and represent God. And as you out here representing him, it's like you have to do that responsibly in this season, right? But you also have to be able to know when you see deceit and how you have to address that in this season. And it's not you just attacking it, but you understanding it and you having to eliminate it, but without stepping out of your spirit, out of your will of God. It's you not stepping out of that, but still be able to articulate what you need in this season. So it's how do you choose to impact those who are around you? How do you choose to impact them? Meaning with your position, your authority, your knowledge, your personal influences. How are you networking? When we're looking at all of these different areas as a leader, it's how is that coming off to others, right? Well, I'm going to tell you something, y'all. I was reading Judges 16. Judges 16. Let me correct that. And as I was looking at this, it started making sense why some of us miss our mark and where God tells us to go. Because we have to, you ever heard the story about Samson and Delilah in the Bible? Well, that's in Judges 16. I do highly recommend those to go in there and read it. It's important because you got to understand that Samson, even though this was a mighty man, even though this was a strong man, he ultimately failed. He ultimately failed due to his lack of humility, through his lack of focus, through to him not being able to understand deceit when deceit was in front of him, and his lust for Delilah, that he would do anything, that he chased after, that he did all of this stuff, and he didn't even know she was going to sell him out. Yeah. And as I was going back over this, and I was like, God, why are you telling me this when it comes to leadership? And he was letting me know in this season, as you are stepping into new territories, how you got to stay focused, because ultimately you don't want to end up like Samson, where your downfall was something you were lusting after and you were chasing after, not realizing what you were chasing after would have betrayed you. He said, when I'm trying to get you to where I need you to, he said, and not everybody that you chasing after, that you willing after, that you want to be right there with you, will trust you when you open up your power to them. He said, when you give some people your power as a leader, they will abuse it. He said some people, unless they're mature in their spirit, you can't then give them extra power. It taints them, and it'll taint you. And as I was reading this, it was letting me know, instead of being focused on the mission and recognizing the importance of strength in the gift that God gave us, we become complacent in allowing the personal importance and our weakness to show up and control us. But for a leader, focus is critical because it allows you to stay aligned with your vision and purpose. And if you lose focus, you risk being pulled away by distractions, which ultimately undermine your leadership. It will undermine your leadership in this season if you don't stay focused. So what does that mean? That means don't become the Delilah in your own story. Don't sell yourself out because you are looking for lustful things, staying in the flesh. Don't become the Delilah in your own story, because you can. And what are the Delilahs in your life? The things that is able to take more precedence over you staying focused to complete your mission. And no, I'm not meaning in male and female terms, because in your life, you could be Samson and you could be a woman, but the things that you're chasing after could be the Delilah, because you are lusting after this, and the same thing that you're lusting after and you're going after could be the same things in your life that will pull you away or sell you out. So you have to be careful. You got to be careful of where you planting your seeds in this season. And you got to stay humble. You have to stay humble. And you have to look at Samson, his pride. What was it? His pride and his sense of inner vulnerability contribute to his downfall. He took his strength for granted. He underestimated the consequences of not staying in alignment. He underestimated them. He didn't see the bigger picture. And when you don't see the bigger picture in your life, you fall victim. Because your pride, you don't even realize you stacking yourself up to fall when you just operating out of your pride. And what did it say about that? Humility allows leaders to recognize their limitations and the importance of others in supporting their vision. Being humble helps a leader stay grounded and aware. Grounded and aware. So are the people in your life grounding you and keeping you aware? You ain't gotta have to see everything, but you know that your soldiers, you know that your horsemen, you know that all the people that's around you, you know that they know that they're protecting you. And them ones, you also know, because of the ways that they get to move, if they have the potential to betray you, or if they loyal. So then you have to look at the teacher, because let me tell you something about a good teacher. He feeds his sheep. A good leader. So who's over you? Who's protecting you? Because a good leader, he protects you. He feeds his sheep. And if he's not a good leader, if she's not a good leader, you will starve. That's when you get people who strays away, because the leadership ain't feeding them. Come on. You understand why you got to stay humble, and why you got to see these things and be able to see the snakes and the cracks in the foundation, and know what these people are building with. What kind of leadership are you finna sit up under? Because some of this leadership will be sending you like a lamb to slaughter, baby. Yes. You'll be hungry. Yes. Check your leadership. You better check the foundation of that leadership. Because you're going to walk in there and you can just fall right on through thinking you was finna get a whole meal, and you got scones. And seeing the snakes in the grass. Why am I saying that? Because he didn't even recognize Delilah as a snake. You ever been around somebody and you didn't even know they were a snake till they bit you? Till they betrayed you? Till they stole from you? Till they took all that they can take from you? You didn't even know you had a Delilah, because Delilah looked as so cute. Delilah looked as so handsome. You done anything for Delilah? Delilah represents your temptations in life. And as a leader, what did I say about this as a leader? A leader must be able to see the snakes in the grass, those who appear loyal but have alternative motives. Leaders must develop wisdom and discernment to recognize when someone is not genuine, supportive, or maybe working against their better good, their better intuition, their better interests, however you want to put that. Trust is important, but so is caution, especially when there is a sign of manipulation. Because when you start recognizing some of these things that manipulate you, when you start recognizing that some of this stuff is not sitting well the way that it should be, it gives you a different level on how you got to look back. And if you're in the spirit, God will tell you, he said, baby, this is where you got to put up a boundary. You got to put up a boundary in this area at this moment, because it is going to be at a deficit to you if you do not. It will wipe you out if you do not. Just think about it. When Samson told Delilah where his power was, she left. Matter of fact, who did she want to go? She left. Delilah left, and she went to tell the Philistines about his power. She sold him out for some money. And in the midst of that, even though she liked him and loved him, she let him cut all his man hair off, and she didn't even understand that she was weakening him until she realized what she did after she realized how he was being attacked. Sometimes people don't realize what they're doing to you until you are at a deficit. So as a leader, you have to discern. You have to be able to know how to shift and pivot in these moments. You got to be able to say, I really want to do this, but I know I have to move, because my integrity is at stake. And if I don't correct it and I don't put boundaries, you're going to keep exercising this level of distrust in my life, this level of manipulation in my life. And I need to be able to rise up, and I'm not going to be able to rise up playing small. I don't know who I'm talking to. Maybe I'm talking to myself in this season. But it's important for you guys to understand how this is. Why is this so important? Why is it so important? Because if you don't stay true to your values, avoid manipulation, don't exploit vulnerabilities, and seek the greater good, and be in practicing awareness, you are not going to be an effective leader. You're not going to be an effective leader, because I want a leader who I can trust. I want a leader that if I'm coming under your leadership, baby, I know I'm fed, I'm nurtured, I'm going to grow. I have a place where I can also be a little bit vulnerable, because I know I'm going to receive the help that I need. I also want to be avoiding being manipulated, because sometimes when someone sees your weakness, they're able to play on that. And I need a leader, or you need a leader who's not going to play on that because they see it's a weakness, but yet they're going to teach you how to strengthen that in this season. So yes, it is your girl, Latricia. I do have a nonprofit called Let's Direct Our Own Path, where I do mentorships, I do one-on-ones, and I also help with housing. I have a link below. Make sure that you follow it. I have my email down there. And also, if you feel led, baby, drop a seed. I have the Cashapp down there as well. I am building Let's Direct Our Own Path YouTube page. So bear with your girl while that is under construction, because that will be coming up soon, which then I'm able to drop that, and then you're going to be able to follow a whole new link pretty soon. So just stay tuned for that. But also avoiding manipulation. Oh, I did talk to you about the manipulation, but also being okay with somebody not exploiting your vulnerabilities, meaning that if I come to you and I'm able to say, hey, I feel inadequate here. How do I get over this? How do I find nurturing in this? It's not somebody pacifying it, but then being able to go back to another group of people, but yet they're going to sit with you and be like, let's work on this. What's up? Let's break this down. Let's give each other practical tools. At this moment, it sounds like you need an accountability partner. So let me be your accountability partner in this season, so that I can get you to move past this vulnerable moment. But if somebody wants to throw your vulnerability at you, baby, that's not the leadership you want to follow under. It's not, because anytime you feel weak, you're expendable. And if you're expendable, you were expendable from the beginning. Yes. And look at that leadership. When you're seeking good leadership, what is that leader following? Who is that leader following? What is that leader building his mission off of? Ooh. Mm-hmm. What is that leader? How is his relationship with God? How is his relationship with his family? How is his relationship or her relationship, their relationship, anybody relationship? Because you have to look at that. Even when you want to look at a relationship, what does that all look like? Because you got to often know when you're under leadership, you have a mentor, you have somebody over you. And when you having someone over you, that's like the head of your table. And if that person's sitting at the head of your table and they're directing your whole business, your whole foundation. If this leader up here ain't right, don't think that leader gonna get you right. Don't think this leader has to be stable, or at least being able to find a way to be stable. Because if that leader ain't stable, you're not going to be stable, which means that trickles. As a leader, that trickles. That trickles to your family. That trickles to your kids. That trickles to your business. That trickles to your workplace. It trickles everywhere because the leadership ain't stable. Message. So making sure you seek great leaders with greatness. You have to seek these things. Why did I say that? I said... asking yourself whether the decision benefits the greater good or if they are just serving their own desires. A good leader's focus on the welfare of the people they serve and not exploiting their trust. They're not going to do that. They're not going to realize because you have so much trust in you that I can. No, a good leader doesn't do that. A good leader understands it's for the greater good. They have really excellent communication skills. A good leader will communicate. Hey, I might not be able to help you in this area, and here is the reason why, but let me give you some resources where I can send you. A good leader is effective of making sure things navigate. Is it going to be perfect? No. Anybody told you that you have a perfect leader, then you under the wrong leadership and it's fake, and good luck. That's what I'm going to tell you. Good luck. But some of this comes from you having to be self-aware. If you're called into leadership, some of this is about you being self-aware. Those are you doing regular self-reflections that allows you to understand the bias and the desires preventing you from making choices that harm others or against your integrity. That's why you have to be sitting with God. That's why you have to stay in your spirit. Because we are called as leaders, as chosen ones, as individuals to help each other. But if you're not aware, you will deceive yourself while you're trying to help someone else. Yeah, you will deceive them too. Because when you get in this mixture, you have to understand. How do I explain this? You have to understand, even with a leader, right? Like, say I wanted to mentor someone. I have to have parameters up on how I mentor, how I cover them, how I'm interacting with them. Because one, you have to understand, temptation don't care. You have to, even if you had a homegirl or a woman that you end up meeting and you guys is like gelling, even though you're doing a mentor with them, you have to be able to have a boundary. No, I'm your mentor. I understand that we're able to sync to where we could probably kick it, but I have to understand my business, my leadership over my personal relationships, and how I have to separate them and keep them at odds of each other, or it's going to be a conflict of interest. I'm gonna have to start breaking this down for y'all. In this season, he said he had to unshake up some things, but he said in this season, be careful not to be the Delilah in your own story, and don't take on the Samson leadership skills that you get so boastful, so prideful in your strength and understanding that nothing can stop you, to the point where some settle because of lust, because of deceit, and you can't see it be the reason that you miss your leadership opportunity. So that's why he said you got to be humble, because he got messages, he got things that he needs you to understand, but you have to be humble in this process. Ooh, this is your girl Trisha. I'm checking back in with a message just about leadership, on how you have to maximize your leadership and grow in this season if you want to be effective. And there are so many areas that we got to tap into in order to get that right. So in this season, if you have wanted to go dive deeper into this, hit your girl up. My description and my bio and everything is down below. Tap in. It's that season where it's each one teach one. Fix your brother and sister crown. This is our season. It's time to fix our crowns and walk it out. Yes. Till next time, y'all don't forget to love on each other. If you see your brother or sister crown tipping in this season, help them fix it. You ain't got to tell them you fixing it. Just help them fix it. Help them straighten it out. In this season, that's what it's about. Each one teach one. Y'all be easy out there. I'm trying to clear this off till next time. Oh. Hey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Because